It's the Julian STRAWTHER game, Kwab.
Hey, yo.
Hey, yo's correct, baby. Out of
Crazy.
nowhere, a
That's
hero
crazy.
comes from the Nuggets. From the mountains of Denver.
From the
Blessed upon
Nuggets.
Jokic. So Jamal Murray can rest in the fourth quarter. We got a game 7, Kwab. We got a game 7.
And in Game 7, anything can happen. You already know this, so.
I know. All right, let's go to the box score, man. For the Nuggets, Jokic 29, 14 and 8, Jamal Murray 25, 8 and 7, Chris Brown 23 and 11. For the Thunder, SGA had 32 and 6, Chet had 19 and 11, Lou Dort with 10 whole points. Jalen Williams was not there today for Lou. Was not there for SGA. Just a very interesting game, Kwab, because if you would have told me that Julian STRAWTHER would have basically saved the Denver Nuggets season, I would be like, you're lying. You're lying to me. But, man, I thought the Nuggets would win this game. Jokic played well. Jokic was very aggressive the whole game. You know, a lot of the game, most of the game, I mean, he didn't chill at the three-point line. Everything was in the paint. Everything was taking the ball to the rim. The Nuggets' offensive game plan just seemed to put pressure on the rim. Like, that's what they did. They went 5 wide, and everything seemed to be, let's get the ball in the paint in the middle of the floor, attack the rim, and if they give us open threes, let's take them. And they were hitting their threes. That's pretty much the difference in this whole series. I mean, outside of Aaron Gordon, no one's really been hitting their threes. Christian Brown had a good game today. He was hitting his three. Porter had a couple. STRAWTHER came in, and, he did his thing in the second half. But overall, I thought the Nuggets moved the ball better on offense. They didn't really get stagnant, except for the second quarter there. That's when they kind of got hit a little bit of a rut. But for the most part, they were getting out in transition. They were moving the basketball. Everything just seemed to be working. I mean, this is a Thunder team that has the best defense in the league. And sometimes when the Nuggets are clicking, it doesn't seem that way.
Yeah, Julian STRAWTHER game. I had the Thunder winning this game going in from our last recap, and now it's because they haven't gotten anything from their bench whatsoever. They've been basically playing 4.5 versus 5, versus 8 because Michael Porter is with one shoulder. And you get this kind of input from output or whatever. You get this kind of play from Julian STRAWTHER off the bench on top of your favorite player, Russell Westbrook.
Love him.
Love him so much. I know. Oh, my God.
Did you see my tweet?
I saw your tweet.
Okay.
I saw your tweet. So to get this guy, you get this kind of play from Julian STRAWTHER who to just be able to hit some shots to open up the floor for the rest of the team. It helps. Again, like you said before, Christian Braun hit shots today. He didn't he was awful the previous game in terms of missing wide open shots.
He was their best player for a lot of this game.
Yeah, that's crazy to say, right? With this team, also Jamal Murray, who wasn't supposed to play, was under the weather. Kind of toughening out and just putting up 25 points and having a good game. That also helped them. The Thunder side, Jalen Williams just awful. Just probably one of the worst games I've seen him play. And it was he was missing shots he usually hits. I mean, he missed a wide open dunk. Yeah. And that's when I was like, yeah, this is not good. And usually they're the team that gets contributions from all over the floor including your bench, and it wasn't the case. It wasn't the case this game. You had this series going to 7 this whole time.
I did. Yeah.
To me, I was hoping I was thinking the Thunder would be able to close it out by now, just because Game 7 with Jokic.
Scary shit.
Scary.
Man.
Scary
shit.
Scary, bro. That's scary. So. I mean, good game by the Nuggets did what they were supposed to do. They won at home. Their role players showed up this game. That made the difference. The Thunder didn't. Even though their defense getting close to the end of the game, you saw the impact of their defense where they made that fake comeback, but it wasn't enough.
They didn't play the defense in the second quarter too. In some parts of the third, they turned the Nuggets over and they were getting in transition and they were getting easy buckets, and that's how they got a lot of their points in this game. But when this game slows down and they're in the half court, at times in the fourth quarter, they were beating the 1-3-1 zone with Jokic in the back line. They would get into the middle of the paint and Jokic has to make a decision one way or the other, and, Hartenstein had a couple of easy buckets there. But for the most part, they really weren't doing much against the zone, and SGA continues to kind of take the zone on by himself sometimes, which drives me absolutely insane as someone who's played the point guard position at a much lower level than SGA.
I mean, to SGA's credit, he made some good passes.
SGA played fine.
That,
He played
that
fine
players
today.
didn't finish. Like there
He
was a
played.
couple passes.
He played better today than he has in previous games. I don't think SGA was a problem today.
Yeah.
But I think their process against the zone is a problem. I think everything should be attacking the middle of the zone or the weak spots of the zone to try to create advantages. Because when they did that, they were fine. And when they got out and ran, they were fine. This offense stalls out sometimes, and I don't understand why. I mean, a lot of it has to do with the fact that I think they just kind of dribble too much. You have players like J-Dub and SGA that sometimes just dribble too much.
I was gonna ask, do you think the foul trouble that like SGA got in foul trouble early on? Do you think that
that hurt
affected-
too because when he picked up his was
Fourth,
it third
I
or
think it was-
fourth, and when they went on that run,
Yeah, I think it was
I mean
fourth,
they were up.
yeah.
The Nuggets were down like 12 points, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, all right, we had a 3-point game at halftime.
Yeah, which it was looking like the Thunder were gonna blow them out until the to the halftime run, and then it was the Julian Strawther third quarter in the fourth quarter, which kind of just
Saved
turned the game over.
The Julian Strawther game.
Hey man,
You love to see it.
Yeah,
You love to see it.
Usually it's the Thunder to have like an Isaiah Joe or a Wiggins or like a Caruso coming off the bench and hitting big shots. So to have for the Nuggets to have somebody do that for them, it was just it's a way to turn a corner for them. I don't know. Now I don't know if they get that in Game 7, but you have a Game 7. At the end of the day, you have a chance. It's win or
You
go
have a
home.
chance, and to be honest with you, I mean, I don't think it matters for Denver if it's home or away, but I do think it matters for OKC. OKC plays better at home. I think they feed off the crowd energy. I think OKC's still the better team overall, so I'm expecting them to win Game 7. But they do have to get more contributions from Jay Will. They do have to have a better process on the offensive side of the ball in the half court. Because Denver, again, we said this before, they're not doing anything like special. They're not.
Yeah.
I mean, they are playing a 2-1-2 sometimes. They're playing a 1-3-1. And if you move the basketball and be patient and maybe pick up the pace a little bit, they have shown that they can beat that. They can break that. And I expect OKC to be more point of attack deep, like just more ball pressure. They had it in some parts when, Jokic and Murray are, trying to drive you crazy, setting ball screens and all that. They were doing a good job there, but we're used to seeing this Thunder team play such good perimeter defense and not being able to be penetrated that pause. That it's weird to see them when they're penetrated. You know what I mean?
No, you're right. No, you're right, because it's usually their perimeter defenses. They have the defensive wings that can stop the point of attack,
Right.
And then they have shot blockers in the back. So it's a perfect defense. Usually not perfect, but it just feels like a perfect defense when they get going.
Yeah.
They trap at the right times. They especially with Caruso. Like there are times when the player will spin or turn and
He's
there's
unbelievable.
there's two on
unreal.
them. So it's like and again you've made this point a lot of times about how their offense doesn't need to be so significant because your defense can always carry.
Yeah.
But their offense was apart from it just felt so subpar, especially how they've been playing against the zone.
Yeah.
That it's been affecting them. I'm like, and if they don't get it cleaned up, Game 7, they're gonna lose. If they don't get it clean, because there's too many times when you're watching them and it's just like, why are you doing this?
Yeah. Yeah.
And why are you doing there's an easier path that you can take.
Right. And sometimes
in
that
terms of-
path works because they're so talented.
Yeah.
I mean, I was watching the game with Kizzo, and SGA took on literally took the 2-1-2 zone on by himself.
Yep.
Drove into the middle, got to the next guy, and took a fadeaway. He hit it and got fouled.
And got fouled. Yep.
And it's like, all right, that worked that time, but still, it's a 2-1-2. What are you doing taking the zone on by yourself, bro?
It's like there's an easier process you can take, but when you are that
Yeah.
talented, everything feels easy. Everything
Yeah.
feels easy. But
And getting out in transition too was a big thing because when they got out in transition today, they were getting buckets. They did Denver's. It was a mixture of Denver's transition defense being awful and the Thunder just running them. I wouldn't say out of the gym because they lost the game, but at that point they were running them into the ground. All right, Kwab. Game 7. You had the Thunder in 6. Are you changing your pick?
Yeah, still Thunder in 6.
Okay.
What you mean?
Okay.
Nah,
I'm sticking with the Thunder in 7.
I want to say Thunder in 7, but every time I've doubted the Nuggets, they've come back and shut me up. So like,
It's really hard to say like Thunder in 7 when Nikola Jokic is like standing on the other side.
just you know what I mean. Like, and would you consider like even his? I'm looking at his numbers from this game, and it's just like 29 points, 14 rebounds, 8 assists, and that's like an okay game by Jokic standards.
I thought
by
he played I thought he played really well today.
And no,
But I know what you're saying though. Yeah, like
and he played really well.
Yeah.
That's but by his standards, you're like, yeah, I mean, it wasn't like a 30, 20, 15 game. I mean,
right.
it's
44, 22, and 8. Like
yeah, what he
no
like
big
it
deal.
looks like he does in his sleep. So
Yeah.
it's hard for me to be like to doubt the Nuggets because of how every time I've doubted them, they've
find a way.
won.
They find a way.
They find a way, but I feel like the Thunder should win this game, especially at home. Especially like when they start hitting shots, the crowd gets behind them. Role players play better, all that, all that jazz. Not the Utah Jazz, but all that. So I think the Thunder win.
There's no jazz in Utah.
There's no jazz in Utah.
There are no jazz clubs in Utah. You
We
cannot
repeat,
convince
there's
me.
no jazz in Utah, guys.
Please change your name.
The Utah Rockies.
But don't.
No, we're going off script. We're going off script
off.
again. We're going to go off script again.
All right, listen, we got a game 7. The Knicks play the Celtics tomorrow, game 6. We'll go over that as well. Yay.
Yay.
I'm not having a heart attack about it. No.
No, why would you?
But we do have a game 7 in the Western Conference, which means the semifinals are going to start next week. They're not going to start this weekend. But stay tuned. We're going to have conference finals, We're going to have a conference finals preview with a guest who I'm hoping keeps his word. We will see about that.
We'll see where up.
Until then, you can follow the Dime at the Dime NBA. I'm Josh Rodriguez at Josh_Rodriguez_. He's Kwab at Kwab, a.k.a. Yes. We'll see you for another game recap of the Dime. Peace.